Hello and welcome, my friends. Have you ever asked yourself why the audience of television, cinema, and literature never seems to tire of following stories about bank heists and grand international thefts? This is a fundamental question regarding the success of such works. Perhaps because these stories continue to captivate the audience's minds more than even the writers themselves in these quickly successful and dream-achieving mythic works. But what if, this time, the story was one of those rare instances where truth is stranger than fiction? In the fall of 1971, a bizarre incident shook the United States. A mysterious man dressed in a sharp suit named Dan D.B. Cooper disappeared into thin air with a sum of money he had obtained illegally. He wasn't just an ordinary thief, but part of a puzzle that has baffled investigators for decades. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, the man who puzzled the American mind for 50 years. The man who disappeared into the sky, leaving behind unanswered questions. D.B. Cooper is the alias of a man who hijacked a Boeing 727 plane in the northwestern United States, in the airspace between Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, on the afternoon of Wednesday, November 24, 1971. On the eve of Thanksgiving, November 24, 1971, a middle-aged man carrying a small black suitcase approached the Northwest Orient Airlines counter at Portland International Airport. He identified himself as Dan Cooper and paid cash for a one-way ticket on Flight 305, a 30-minute trip north to Seattle. Cooper boarded the plane, a Boeing 727, and sat in seat 18C. Reports conflicted between 18E and 15D, near the rear of the passenger cabin. Cooper was a calm man who appeared to be in his mid-40s, dressed in a business suit with a black tie and white shirt. He ordered a drink while the flight awaited takeoff. Flight 305, which was about one-third full, left Portland on schedule at 2:50 p.m. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to Florence Schaffner, the flight attendant seated near him in the jump seat attached to the rear stair door. Schaffner, assuming the note contained a phone number from a lonely businessman, dropped it without opening it into her bag. Cooper leaned toward her and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner relayed Cooper's instructions to the pilots in the cockpit. He stated his demands: $200,000 in negotiable American currency, for parachutes, 2 primary and 2 reserve, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane upon arrival. When she returned, Cooper was wearing dark sunglasses. Pilot William Scott contacted air traffic control at Seattle-Tacoma Airport, which in turn informed local and federal authorities. The 36 other passengers were given false information that their arrival in Seattle would be delayed due to a minor mechanical issue. Northwest Airlines President Donald Nyrop authorized the ransom payment and instructed all employees to fully cooperate with the hijackers' demands. The plane circled the airport for nearly 2 hours to give Seattle police and the FBI enough time to gather Cooper's parachutes and ransom money and mobilize emergency personnel. At 5:24 p.m., Cooper was informed that his demands had been met, and at 5:39 p.m., the plane landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. More than an hour after sunset, Cooper instructed Scott to taxi the plane to a brightly lit, isolated section of the tarmac and close every window shade in the cabin to deter snipers. Al Lee, Northwest Airlines Seattle operations manager, approached the aircraft in civilian clothes to avoid the possibility that Cooper might mistake his airline uniform for a police officer's. He handed over the cash-filled bag and parachutes to flight attendant Mucklow via the rear stairs. Once the delivery was complete, Cooper ordered all passengers, Schaffner and senior flight attendant Alice Hancock, off the plane. At around 7:40 p.m., the Boeing 727 took off again with only 5 people on board: Cooper, pilot Scott, Mucklow, co-pilot Radizak, and flight engineer H.E. Anderson. 2 F-106 fighter jets had been scrambled from McChord Air Force Base and followed the plane, one above and one below, out of Cooper's view. One of the pilots shadowed the Boeing 727 until they ran low on fuel and returned near the Oregon-California border. In total, 5 aircraft trailed the hijacked plane. None of the pilots saw Cooper jump, nor could they pinpoint where he might have landed. After takeoff, Cooper instructed Mucklow to join the rest of the crew in the cockpit and remain there with the door closed. As she complied, Mucklow observed Cooper tying something around his waist. At around 8 p.m., a warning light flashed in the cockpit, indicating a problem with the rear door. The crew's offer of assistance through the intercom was firmly declined. Shortly afterward, the crew noticed a personal change in air pressure, signaling that the rear door had been opened. Cooper had jumped from the plane, a dangerous leap into the unknown. The mysterious man vanished into the night, leaving a world of unanswered questions. Authorities launched an extensive investigation, including search teams and helicopters, but no trace of D.B. Cooper or the stolen money was ever found. As time passed, theories began to multiply about his fate. Did he die in the jump, or did he land successfully and disappear from sight? Investigators speculated that D.B. Cooper was experienced, possibly a former military man, as he executed the jump with professional precision. Numerous witnesses came forward claiming to have seen a suspicious individual after the incident, but all of the evidence was contradictory. With each passing year, the legend of D.B. Cooper grew. Some people even claimed to know his true identity, but no one has been able to prove it. After years of searching and investigation, a new theory emerged. A portion of the money D.B. Cooper had demanded was found in a river, bearing a matching serial number. But by then, Cooper had already vanished, and there was no definitive evidence of his whereabouts. In the end, Dan D.B. Cooper remained a symbol of mystery and adventure. Even decades after his disappearance, his story continues to be told, inspiring many with its themes of freedom, adventure, and confronting the world boldly. Perhaps D.B. Cooper was more than just a criminal. He was a symbol of rebellion, one of those who decided to live life on their own terms, even if their end remained unknown. And so, at the end of the story, the most important question remains: did D.B. Cooper truly vanish into the sky, or is he still among us, living in the shadows of legend? This is our story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.